Right, the Governing All Progressives Congress has constituted a peace committee to resolve the disputes that arose from its primaries ahead of the 2019 general election. And several state chapters of the party have been embroiled in crisis since the primary elections were concluded, with some governors accusing the party's national chairman, Adams Oshomole, of corruption and misconduct. The party constituted separate committees tagged National Peace and Reconciliation Committees for each of the 6 geopolitical zones. The National Working Committee of the party advised aggrieved party members still trying to seek redress in courts to either withdraw all their cases or face disciplinary actions. Well, the party constituted separate committees tagged National Peace and Reconciliation Committees. Of course, we already said that. Okay, so now the question is, there's a new twist to the matter. President Buhari has declared his support for aggrieved members of the APC who opted to sue the party. He's saying that actually the courts remain the last option for the amicable resolution of disputes, and insists that the party must allow aggrieved members to fully explore their democratic and legal rights. Well, we have a public affairs analyst and a member of the APC, Biodun Showumi, in the studio. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
A lot of people have been reading all kinds of meanings to what PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, has just said, saying that he supports aggrieved members to explore, the courts in resolving this issue. But wouldn't they be failing in reading between the lines that he's not necessarily saying, yes, go to court, in spite of the fact that you reserve the right to go to court?
No, I think the president is right on this very score, because at the end of the day, the essence of the court is to adjudicate. When there's a dispute, you cannot create a situation where you say people cannot go to court. We've had incidents in the past where court judgments actually reversed the outcome of elections in favor of one party or the other. And some of the governors, actually became governors as a result of court action. So therefore, we cannot foreclose the aspect of court by asking people to withdraw court actions. Otherwise, they will be expelled. That
but you think that the thinking, for the party leadership and the National Working Committee, by saying that they should withdraw those cases is, look, you have an election around the corner, and if we continue along this trajectory, it might affect the outcome.
Obviously, that is the issue. The issue is this: you cannot resolve certain things by fiat. Is either you have to go into persuasion, reconcile with them. Let me give you a good example. In Ekiti State, Mr. Shegun, the former governor, is still in court against Governor Kayode Fayemi. You also have other situations all over the country. People allege that their tickets were snatched after they've been announced as winners. So in the first instance, that should never have happened. So if it happened, you cannot stop people from seeking redress. The president is right on it.
Absolutely. But how does it, affect these 6 peace committees and reconciliation committees in the 6 geopolitical zones that are meant to, as quickly as possible, fast-track peace efforts to ensure that whatever cracks that have, resulted from the primaries are patched up, if not completely, covered up?
It's also unfortunate that the NWC took that position. I think the president is really very right on this issue. Do you know why? Because
that they took the decision to set up the committees?
No. The decision to set up to withdraw the case. Okay. Because it would, it's like one step forward, one step backward. Aggrieved aspirants would not want to listen to threats to say, look, if you feel cheated, you would rather go all the way and say, look, I don't care, I'm going to have to go all the way around. But setting up the reconciliation committee is the best way forward. And then after setting it up, they should have allowed the reconciliation committee, to carry out its functions before, thinking of what else do we need to do. But if you try, if it appears that people are being forced to be reconciled, whether they like it or not, whether they still feel aggrieved or not, through threats, that will not work. And that is why the president is right. That, look, let them explore all options. You can still reconcile them in a way that they will withdraw the court actions if they choose to, if they feel reconciled, you know, but the best way to start is not to say, we want to reconcile you. If you don't withdraw your court action, we will expel you. You know?
So you think his statement would calm some?
I think it will calm some frayed nerves, because that could have led, you know, to exodus of people from those who are aggrieved from the party for whatever reason.
Which is what some people have, yeah, I mean,
precisely.
some people have expressed such concerns. Precisely. But then again, more of a concern is the fact that there are people who may stay within the party, remain aggrieved, even if you don't have the prefix aggrieved, you know, to their names.
Precisely.
And work against the interest of the party. Is that a possibility?
It is possible, precisely. We've seen people moving from, serving members moving from APC to other political parties with the intention to return back. You know, it's more or less flexing of muscles, you know, by different godfathers within the APC. The fact of the matter is normal in democracy. At the end of the day, we've been having alignment, realignment of different forces and all that, because in the absence of any ideological perspectives, you know, to political parties, you know, none of them is purely ideological. So it is easier to sleep in APC today, wake up in PDP tomorrow, and then you move back again. So for politicians, it's a game. They don't see it as a big deal. The major worry for APC is going into election with a divided house. APC is badly divided. Many people are badly aggrieved. You have Ogun is a very good case in point. Imo is another one. Coupled with the problems in Ondo State, and then you have
Zamfara that we don't even know how to define what is going on there.
Rivers, where it's still made in legal action. So it's quite unfortunate, but
is this deja vu? Is this deja vu? I mean, you would think that the APC, you know, having benefited from the crisis pre-2014, 2015 within the PDP, would have learned, you know, the lessons from the PDP experience in order not to fall into the same, you know, into the same hole, if you like. And yet the APC is finding itself in that same position.
Yeah.
Are you concerned that it might just end the same way that 2015 turned out to be?
Oh, one thing which is very clear is that the divisions now are just as like in 2015, but the outcome may not at the end of the day be that. In relation to presidential candidates, it will affect the outcome in different states of the federation. You are bound to have that because one, morale will be low on the part of party members where you have major issues. On the other side of it is there are legal actions. Even those who are campaigning currently, some of them may no longer be in office if the court found in favor of those who went to court. So all these factors will affect people. When it comes to presidential election, then we wait and see, and then those who are within who are claiming that they will work for the presidency and then do otherwise. We don't know what the effect of that will be, because it's like, you know, wanting to speak with both sides of the mouth. So what effect would that be? To what extent will it affect, you know, the voters? We've seen it before in Ogun State, for instance, when PDP was in power. You remember the issue of PPN and PDP. It's exactly again over this Ogun West scenario. So, so maybe we have a replay of history going on in some parts of the country. That's why I asked you the
question of deja vu, and how come it is that it doesn't look like, or do you want to say that this might just be another learning curve, you know, for the APC? But let's even look at the Peace and, you know, Peace Reconciliation Committee. What do you think they should be looking at in actually calming those, you know, aggrieved members and convincing them genuinely to stay within the party, because there's a lot more to gain by staying than leaving? What do you expect the committee to do going forward? I mean, they have how many months to do their work? This is November is ended already. You have December, January and February.
Before election is in February.
Election is in February.
I really don't envy the members of those committees, you know, entrusted with that task. is never going to be a very easy task. How do you convince somebody who feels cheated, to feel reconciled to the same leadership that he accused of cheating him? Whether that is right or not, that's a different matter. Or how do you reconcile somebody who has spent so much money and then went to court and then say, you now ask him to withdraw, and he's saying no?
So would you subscribe, for example, to the idea of refunding?
That's one of the ways, because
money spent,
yes, many people paid so much money, to contest for election. They were not refundable. I feel that where you have major problems, issues like legal actions, issues like those who are disaffected as a result of the process, embarked upon, to select aspirants they should be able to get the refund of their money. Because in some cases, those who were even fielded were not the people who contested in primaries. Yes, it's the decision of the party to decide who should represent them. So, but in that case, what is the basis of holding on to the money, to the fee paid by those aspirants? So it will be right for the Reconciliation Committee to look at that and then ensure that people are paid.
But like they say, I mean, whoever decides to embark on a project, whether it's building a house or going on a journey or whatever it is, you would actually count the cost. Yes. Which means, yes, it could go either way. Now, going into an election with the mindset that, oh, this is a done deal, I'm getting it either because I have, deep pockets to fund, this project, or because I have a godfather who will just say, look, this is the man we want, and that's what it's going to be. Yes. Don't you think some of these candidates would have, these aggrieved members, let's call them aggrieved members.
Aggrieved members?
Yeah, aggrieved members. Don't you think that they did not count the cost?
No, they did. The fact of the matter is like going to war. You either come back alive.
You do count the cost.
Yes. You either come back alive
or come back in a body bag.
In body bag. But at the same time, we also know there is what they call captured. You can get captured in a war. You are not alive, you are not dead,
and but you are in captured, there's hope.
Yeah, there's still hope that one day you get free. So the olive branch, it is right for APC, Reconciliation Committee, to reach out to aggrieved members, because the party can only benefit from it. Without doing the needful, I cannot see how APC, will win elections. They have to do the needful. If people are aggrieved, you need these foot soldiers, aggrieved people are the full soldiers in different communities, and you need them, to mobilize their supporters to vote for the party. So if they are feeling aggrieved and they're passing that message on, that look, this is what they've done to me, this is how I've been treated, it's all politics is local. What you realize is that it will play out badly, with the voters, and that is not what the party wants. So even if it means refunding, the fee paid, will resolve the problem, then they should do that. But I think the problem is even more than that in some states.
Okay.
So it's a thing that we need to see how the Reconciliation Committee will go about its work. If they go in with the goal of securing peace, not with issuing ultimatums, hopefully, maybe some of it, they'll be able to resolve the problem.
But then again, you wonder what kind of signal this sends, to, for the future. I mean, will this be a good foundation to be laying? But we'll have to leave it there.
Well, APC will have to.
Thank you so much. Then there's, of course, the Adams Oshomole factor. Some are still saying he has to leave. I mean, because, anyway, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
For joining us this morning.